My name is Amani and I am a student from North Carolina. This week, I think that schools can make sure that they really support their black and brown kids in particular, but emphasis on black ones because there has been a lot of murders from police in relation to black people. And so I think that they need a lot of support, they need a lot of care. And so making sure that they have access to psychologists, school psychologists as they need, or going to the guidance counselor's office. Maybe also just, excusing some late work if at all possible, trying to ease the load just for everybody, but being particularly delicate and careful with these students as they are watching, people within their community get killed. And also, this is the first time I know that I've seen a police officer ever been held accountable for murdering an innocent black person, right? So I think that it is super important also to not use this time to try and bring in law enforcement to talk about the great work they do in the community or how they're protecting and serving, but maybe use this as a teaching moment to talk about the ways in which law enforcement originated. I know that I personally did not learn that law enforcement, that police officers were initially slave catchers until I was probably 15 or 16. And so I grew up with this, protect and serve notion, while also being confused about what seemed to be this targeting on black people historically in relation to the police and why the relations were so high. And I then understood that their jobs, this particular career, was rooted very much in racism. And you can try to reform it as much as you want, but there are aspects of it that still linger. The badge, the star, is the same star that slave catchers had centuries ago. So I also know that I personally would not want my child walking around thinking that police have always been there to protect and serve. That may be what they attempt to do now, some of them, but I would want them to know the truth. I would want them to know the truth about these relations, black people's relations with police and law enforcement. And I would very much want them to know the origins of that career. I would not want them knowing anything else. I would not want cops brought in this week, to try to convince them that there are some good cops. I think that is actually potentially is very dangerous, and I think that black kids need to be cared for. They need to be taken into consideration this week, and they need to be loved on more than anything and just supported.